So it is, I guess it's recording now to the cloud.
You can stop. Stop the recording.
All right, everybody, good morning. Welcome to Honor Society's general meeting today. It is Thursday, May 8th, and we are going to start the meeting at 9:01 a.m. And we are recording. So anyway, welcome. I will start the meeting off by approving our minutes from our general meeting on February 11th, 2025. So we have to vote to approve that.
Yes, we need a motion.
So we need a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any opposed?
All those in favor?
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so motion carries to approve our board meeting minutes. Next up, we'll go over our board member reports. So my name is Tammy Nozeri. I'm your president this year, and I will just report on a couple of things. We have our bowling event coming up on June 2nd, which is going to be from 4 to 6 p.m. And that is bowling with your professor. It's super fun. The kids love it. The teachers will be there. And it is a great community event for spending time with your teachers and your peers. We are going to be posting tickets for that on Membership Toolkit. There'll be $10 a person, $10 a bowler. You'll get pizza, drink, shoes, and a lane for the 2 hours. So definitely make sure to get your ticket because it does cap at 200 bowlers. So don't forget, keep your eyes out for Instagram and all those fun avenues to purchase your tickets. And then we will talk about May 16th. I'm sure Mr. Wright will piggyback on that, so I'll let him speak more, but we will be having a booth there. I believe Dell, our fabulous vice president, and I will be there to encourage the Kinder families to join us in our efforts at Honor Society for the new year. So stay tuned for that. And I think we'll be selling spiritware as well. So Erin will piggyback on that. Soon. And then our next meeting dates is going to be on May 29th. That is going to be a joint board meeting. So after today, we will have our new board for the next year established. And we are going to be doing a transition board meeting that day. So very important that we can all mark that on our calendar. So we're all there. And also, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Our board this year has been amazing. And we've done a couple of recognition things already, so I won't get, crazy or sentimental at this meeting, but I do just want to say thank you. I couldn't have done everything here without you guys, and our board made a lot of amazing things happen this year. So thank you to all of you guys. And that's really all I have. So I'll pass it over to you, Mr. Wright.
First, I want to say thank you to the entire Honor Society and the board and all the parents for all that you guys do for us. You make our job so much easier, and seeing all of the gifts and thoughtfulness for our teachers for Teacher Appreciation Week is amazing, and the generosity all of our parents show to our teachers are fantastic. So thank you all for that. We just, on behalf of the teachers and the staff, we appreciate that more than you know. Just the thoughtfulness of everything, and we love all the handmade gifts from the kiddos too. There was a handmade pot today that someone had a flower and it's beautiful. So we love that stuff. We are knee deep in testing and CAPS testing for our 3rd through 5th graders. So they are doing an amazing job working on it. They're actually moving through the test really well. And the feedback we're getting from kids is how prepared they felt. So if you have a 3rd through 5th grader, feel free to talk to them about how their test went. But most are saying oh yeah, it's way easier than what we worked on before going in, or we asked them about the writing and they're like, oh yeah, I mapped out all my writing. So the actual writing only took 5 minutes. It was so much easier doing it that way. So it's good to see that they are actually using the skills that we're teaching in class when it comes to the testing. And I think it's one of the reasons why we test so well and our kids do so well. Our teachers do an amazing job of preparing them and getting them ready. We are down to 25 days of school left. Right, today's Thursday, 24 days. Quickly approaching the end of the year. We have a fantastic 5th grade committee of families helping plan out our 5th grade farewell to get ready to move our 5th graders on to the next and greatest things.
The last day school is the 5th, right?
Last day school is the 5th.
That's 19 days after school.
19 days. Sorry.
Thanks, thanks, Susan.
First
25.
So,
would be the one correcting it.
you know what I always tell people, like in 19 days, like they will be yours, and then, you know,
Our countdown
then
starts.
your countdown will begin, and how many wake ups it'll be until they return back to us. Just to talk a little bit about the board meeting last week, I know there's been a lot of like rumors, conjecture about what's happening here at our school. You know, there was an offer made to OPA for a site for the middle school. They are going to finish negotiating, looking their offer, and then the board will decide next Thursday what that offer is going to be. As far as how that affects us, we won't really know until then. I don't know how much of I don't see us expanding into a 1,000-person school next year. I don't think that's an option, which I'm okay with. But I do suspect that traffic getting in and out of the school next year will be much easier than it was this year. So I will say that. And then there'll be more to report out after the board meets next Thursday and has made a decision on the middle school on that site. And then we will start communicating what that looks like for us after that. So those meetings will start happening for me next week as we lead up to the board meeting. So then we'll be able to communicate out in the next week of kind of clear up anything for OPA families, for SV families. And like I said, those are fifth graders will also work on some plans of, you know, if there is a different site, how we get our kids to that different site and what that all looks like. So lots of exciting things to come, lots of work to be done this summer. But we're really looking forward to it, and I think that's it, so that we can be out here right now.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Just in terms of, and you may not know the answer to this, but just in terms of our campus and the K through fifth or TK through fifth, do you anticipate there being a move from this campus in any coming year, or?
Yeah, I suspect that our campus will stay us.
Through us until all of our kids are gone.
Correct.
Okay. I don't care what happens after that, but just kidding.
Yeah, I don't see the SV campus being moved anywhere. I don't, you know, we've got the numbers, so, you know, we send out in the springtime, we send out that intent to return, and I put in that thing, like, this is so Saddleback Valley can know how many numbers we have, and we retain our site. So when we get really good turnout of that, and we've got a great staff that like harp on people to get those turned in, because we're able to show the numbers of students here necessitate this site. So as long as our numbers stay up, and we have hundreds of kids on the waiting list, our numbers are going to be okay. You know, there's declining enrollment all over California. We do not have declining enrollment here.
Why do you think there is like homeschool or private schools?
Private schools, population, you know, we've got kind of an aging population in California. It's hard to live here and have a young family. So that's part of it, especially in South Orange County, where, you know, you can't buy a house for $100 million. Like, it's hard to have little ones. So people have stayed in their houses longer. The community around us, like, people live in their house for 30, 40 years, which is great, but that's why this will close, right? There's no there's no new families coming in with little ones to come in. So there's a little bit to the school choice, where people have choices, especially in South Orange County and in charters and stuff like that. So yeah, the number of kiddos, the number of young ones that are out there are just not as plentiful.
Sorry about the kids.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Dell, President-elect.
Yes, well, first of all, we had a good turnout throughout the year for Snack Shack. Thanks to our amazing VP of Finance, who was able to crunch all the numbers before this meeting. We made for the year thus far $1,176.04. That's after deductions and benefits. And I was gonna ask our incredible chancellor, so if you can clarify, there's some confusion about if we can still do Snack Shack next year. That 30-minute window, I guess, was what told me about, would obviously kill us, but Can you just develop a little more on that point?
We'll just have to look at the type of items, so the state sets aside like what type of items you can sell after school, there's different nutrition guidelines, so, and then also like how we're competing with. The
Kitchen.
the kitchen, so. Like the easy one would say we probably wouldn't be able to do pizza. But we would just have to look at the chips and drinks and what we're able to do and if they fit into those requirements.
Okay.
I think-
Fun, healthy versions. of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
And we can try it a couple times and see if it's, we have good traffic.
Yeah.
And take it from there. Okay.
That would be good.
Like I said, I think the biggest one will just be the pizza competes with
Yeah.
the pizza they're getting in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Even though most of the kids get both,
Yeah.
because it's pizza, why wouldn't you?
Correct.
Exactly,
Do
they
serve pizza on Fridays?
Pizza on Fridays.
Every Friday?
pretty
Not
much,
every Friday, but.
Okay.
but more often than not.
Well, could we, maybe we could coordinate them on the days that they're not, but they'd be having something else.
Yeah,
then,
they'd be
so it
having-
doesn't matter, it's a
So,
competition,
yeah.
it's a conflict. Okay.
Oh, and they're serving it because this is minimum day. So
Yeah.
they just served it. I was thinking, yeah,
Right.
it's
So,
like right after lunch.
Yeah.
so they're like, they'll let come out, eat pizza and then come out and get another slice of pizza. That's what they don't want. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it for me. Thank
Okay.
you.
awesome, thank you. Jennifer.
Okay, so.
Do you want me to click on the balance sheet or or you just?
Yeah, you can pull it up for everybody so they can see. I've got it here. Okay, so we'll start with the balance sheet. This is as of, I always do our reports at the end of every month. And then I try to do a report up through like the day before our meeting so that it's like as current as possible. So this is essentially our balance sheet showing our assets and liabilities, and we have $39,000 in the bank at the moment because we just did book fair, we just ended book fair and readathon. And then we have as our petty cash, which we maintain at $200, and then we have a certificate of deposit. So the board has voted to always maintain a reserve of $25,000. That's kind of standard nonprofit practice to have a backup, and we keep it in a certificate of deposit. Last year we started that and we ended up making $611 of interest over 6 months. We just renewed, we voted to renew in April, and the next term is 4 months. So essentially it can continue to earn interest through the summer, and then we come back in the fall, we can decide what we want to keep doing it. So then we can go back to the income statement. So our income statement again is through yesterday. And it just breaks down all of our income and expenses. There are a lot of line items, so I won't bore everyone with every one of them. Most of our income is just fundraising income, and you'll notice the last 2 lines of income also have prior year carry forward income. So that was about almost $20,000 from last year. Almost $7,000 of it was designated for Meet the Masters, which we have then funded also this year. But you can see some of the bigger line items is 14,000 for readathon income, kind of up there. Yep, and then almost $47,000 of jogathon. Those are our 2 biggest fundraisers. And then Aaron and Andrew can also touch on other fundraising. If we scroll down, we've just got a lot of our other programs. Obviously, there are a lot of expenses that are associated with all of our fundraising. There's basically a line item associated with each one. So to put on these activities, it costs money as well. But then if we go down to the next page, we can see, I think the things that we're most excited about what we spent, which was, you scroll just a tiny bit, Teresa.
Yeah.
Thank you. We gave $1,000 to each grade level for field trips. That was $6,000. You can see kind of in the middle there, we've spent $7,200 on classroom support grants. Our budget is $10,000, so we're going to encourage teachers to spend what they haven't yet before the end of the year. We did a lot of awesome assemblies, thanks to Jill, which was about $3,300. We approved $9,000 to be spent on our book vending machine, which will go to support PBIS efforts. And we bought 2 Gaga ball pits, so that's kind of down on the bottom. And then we have the Meet the Masters, which was about $7,000. So I feel like we've done a lot of really great things. We also have other items
further up at the top, like International Day, Lunar New Year celebration, Spanish culture, sorry, down a little bit. Right there, at the top of that page. We have enhancement activities for each grade level. We have Kinder Circus, we have International Day, Lunar New Year, Spanish cultural event. Lots of wonderful things that I think our funds have gone to supporting. And then if we want to just show budget versus actual, it's basically the same thing because it has the income and expenses broken down, but kind of helps. It's offset against what our budget was. So you can see our income was budgeted at 100,000. We came in at 113. So that was mostly attributed to Jogthon. And if we scroll all the way to the bottom, our expenses, our total expenses and our income for the budget column bring our total budget to 0 in the budget column. But you can see we still haven't finished spending everything that we allocated. So depending on how we end up at the end of the year, we will have funds to roll over the next year. The last thing, if we go back to the agenda, Teresa, I just had some of these things that I wanted to highlight. So I highlighted the field trips, grade level enhancements, classroom support grants, Meet the Masters, assemblies, Blackwells. We've spent $3,500 on Blackwells, which the kids have loved. No, it's been good. Rising costs have made it across the board. The teachers are feeling it on the things they're purchasing, some of our other activities, Blackwell specifically as well, but we have the money in our budget to pivot. We have the book vending machine, like I mentioned. We also donated to the Malibu Fires at the beginning of the year from Snack Shack earnings. And then the next section would be some items that we have earmarked. So even though we have like $30,000, we have $8,000 that we'll earmark for Meet the Masters next year. $3,400 for Titastic. We have a 2-year contract and we haven't paid anything on that yet. There's still $3,000 remaining in our campus beautification fund that we can use in the summer. And then we have $1,000 of playground equipment that we haven't yet used and some remaining money in the classroom support grants. And then obviously a few more things that haven't been paid for yet at the end of the year, like the grade level plays and field day, etc.
That playground equipment, we usually at the beginning of the year would purchase like a multiple bag for each class or each grade level. But I don't know if that ended up happening.
Thought we got them this year. Did we get?
We did.
We already do that.
So that's what that line item is.
Actually, I remember we talked about, because Archer said they didn't have basketballs anymore, and so we thought we were gonna pull the trigger for buying a few more balls.
I bought a bunch of basketballs with the
Oh.
money we had from Kids Heart Challenge, because they give us like thing to like an online thing, so I bought basketballs and soccer balls. But I thought we had gotten me.
I thought it was the end of last year.
It was the end of last,
Yeah.
oh, you know, it was the end of last year.
So let's do
So
it.
the beginning of the year, we
They were fresh,
usually,
yeah.
yeah.
So I think we bought them like at the end of last year, so they were, and then we put them out to kids like at the beginning of the year, so they were ready to go.
Maybe we'll do that again before we
summer.
close out our
Yeah.
budget.
Yeah.
We'll just buy it now so
For
that you guys
everybody.
can have
Yeah.
it for the fresh classrooms.
Yeah.
at the beginning. That's a
Yeah.
good idea. We'll just do
Is
that.
1,000
So then it's taken care of.
sufficient
Should be.
for all that?
Yeah.
End of year? Okay.
Spend that money.
Yeah, let's do that.
So then I guess the idea then is something we're always kind of talking about, should there be like a capital fund for something bigger that maybe it would take like a couple years. I don't know. I know library has been thrown around. I won't,
We can talk after
I'm
next
looking at you,
Thursday.
but yeah.
We can talk after next Thursday.
Which is perfect, because then we'll have the new board and we can put together that new focus.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think the idea, especially with nonprofits, it's common practice to kind of spend, nobody's trying to make a profit here, and we don't wanna hold on to donated funds for no reason, but I think that as we continue to have these discussions with Dr. Fricker and Mr. Wright, and we kind of look ahead, if there's something that's gonna cost significantly more, it would take a surplus over the course of a few years to accumulate. So we could talk about creating like a capital fund, capital projects fund, and then we decide how much we're gonna set aside each year, but we've had that conversation with Dr. Fricker. It comes down to a lot of like what we can. What we can add to this campus since we don't technically own it
Yeah.
and all of some of those hoops that we have to jump through, but.
There may be some ideas next Thursday.
Yeah.
Can we
So-
have a capital project fund without having a specific project?
I
Like,
don't think so.
Or do
a
we have to
specific-
pre-designate it for something?
I think you have to pre-designate it and it would also bolster transparency for
Yeah.
Honor Society.
Yeah,
because
okay.
Which
you
we
probably
could do
will have
on
a lot of
529.
pushback with,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
kids.
529, yeah.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I definitely
Uh,
wanna emphasize, I just wanna emphasize that we try really hard to make sure that we are managing the funds as cautiously and respectfully as possible, because we know that these are donations that are hard earned, that the parents have generously contributed, and so we try as a board, I mean, we vote on everything that we spend, not everything we spend money, but over $500, and if there's big purchases, we vote. So as the finance chair, I try really hard to make sure that we are sticking to our budget and that we're making sure that we're just using prudence with this money that we've been given. But also, I don't want it to feel like we're just, like holding on to money and not utilizing it for our students, but it's always good. Also, I was trying to point out that even though sometimes it looks like we have a ton in the bank, there's also at the end of the year, kind of a flood of last minute chunks of expenditures that we have to pay out.
Reimbursements and
Yeah.
teachers go crazy
Yeah.
spending their grants really fast, and so, yeah.
Yeah, the reimbursements are coming in pretty quick with the teachers now, so, which is good. We budgeted that money. So just trying to be really transparent, but also point out that there's still a lot to get us through the end of the year that we'll pay. So then at the end of the year, when the year's closed out, we'll do our final budget, and then at that point, we'll have a concrete idea of how much we have going into the next year. Yeah. But it's always tricky because the fundraiser, jogathon's at the beginning of the year, so then we get a pretty good idea of how we'll be. But readathon isn't really till the end of the year, so we create a budget with an assumption in mind, but it's hard to know really what we're gonna end up with at the end of the year, so it's helpful to have these chunks from one year rolling to the next. So that in the meantime, while we're fundraising, we feel like we are confident that we have that money from the prior years, but.
Covering administrative costs,
Yeah.
anything we need to do with the next fundraiser, coming, give back event.
Meet your professor, the first couple days of school,
Yeah.
like those are important,
Yeah.
you do stuff for that too, so.
Yeah, we hit the ground running with that assembly, the BMX one, it's always right, first week of school, so. Yep, any questions? I know it's a lot of numbers, so.
Well, I think it's been really great because you keep it very organized, and at every meeting, it's the same. And so it's easy to compare like apples to apples, and you can see everything. So I feel like it's very transparent, and I like that. So
Yeah,
thank you.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you can always contact me and I can walk you through, or you can look at them with more time if you need.
And
Thanks, Jen.
anyone
Yes.
can request a copy of the budget at any time.
Yep.
So if anybody ever is making a comment of like, where's it going? Like, just go to Honor Society, request a copy of the budget, and it can happen.
And Teresa, I think you're gonna talk about the survey, right?
Mhm.
With this survey, one of the things was field trips. I think some of the things that parents wanted to see money spent on, so I do feel like we're trying to spend it on things that people feel like are fulfilling our mission statement and supporting our children's education. So we're always open to ideas.
Yes, always looking for ideas. Thank you. Susan, do you have anything from communications?
Nope.
Okay. Recording secretary, so that brings us over here to Ms. Teresa.
Yeah, I've shared this with the board, but every 2 years, we try to do an input survey, like we call it insight survey, to our families to, get some feedback of how we're doing. It's really hard because I know Mr. Wright could probably agree, sometimes people just don't do the survey. Like it just sometimes doesn't happen. But we did, get 52 responses, I believe, total. We have approximately 500 students, so it's not a really good sample, but I did want to share some of the insights. So it's in March typically that we do the survey, so we can get an idea, one, of how we're gonna be planning next year. Two, we get a lot of leads that way too for Honor Society to help with chairing events and possible board members, so that's another way that we, kind of try to stir interest is through that, so it's always, really good to do. So the first area was the demographic survey, just looking at, who actually did the survey. And by far, it is always the kinder parents that will end up doing the survey, which is great because that's the feedback that we need the most, is like that TK first and second. But you can see, and our kinder parents are amazing, so we're happy that they did that, so you can see the breakdown there. The topic area 2 was participation, so what did people participate in, right? What have they done while they've been here at OPA? And it's pretty much across the board, like the book fairs, the big things that we do. The book fairs, the Fall Family Fun Night, everybody loves Pumpkin City. You can see Jogathon pretty much everyone. We had a 75% participation rate. So just highlighting some of those events that we've done, and even in the past, like there's going to be some of those things that are going to fall off because we just haven't done them since even pre-COVID. So that'll constantly evolve, but it's good to see where people are participating, gives us an idea of what we can continue to do and what we should actually drop. So events, do you think we're doing too many? People, the sample said we just have enough, even though our Octobers and Aprils are super busy. I think people love what we're doing, so that's good. Admission prices, we always ask, test the waters. People think it's reasonable. I think we've done a really good job over the last 2 years bringing down our costs, which has been really nice. And even making some free. So I'm really proud of you guys for doing that. Do we inform people? Yes, pretty much. Sometimes people say, I think the WOOF, I think was one of the top reasons we are hurt is because most of our stuff is read through the WOOF. And that's what people said, how would you like Honor Society to communicate to you? They don't mind the emails either. So we have a separate database. We're not able to commingle with the school, obviously for privacy reasons. So through Membership Toolkit, we get a lot of emails and information so we can actually send through our database. But Mr. Wright is very kind. And anytime we say, can you push out an email? He's like, okay, got it. So he's really good at that. What kind of events would you like Honor Society to do more of? And you could pick 3 and you can see down there field trips. A lot of the families don't understand the separation between the school events and our event. In fact, Del can attest to that because somebody was asking for a jump rope, which the Heart Association isn't us, it goes back to the school. So
It's more like a plane.
well, you can see that they don't denote.
There was confusion.
Yeah, they think it's all one. But they had put in here to help with field trips, which you saw in our budget that we do give money for the field trips, enhancement projects, things like that even. But it looks like they want us to do more, but that would actually be with the administration that you guys would have to look at and see where you want to put those dollars for next year. But it's good to have the information. And then family-oriented events would be second. Distribution of funds, how would you like Honor Society funds to be spent for champions? And most of them said that school program support. So like Art Masters, assemblies, you can see is on there too, but everything going back to the kids, which supports our mission. So that was good. I like that some people were talking about, well, there's the field trips again, but the community programs. I think that's somewhere where we could improve, but I like that it was mentioned. Meeting preferences, people are saying Zoom. So I thought that was interesting.
Well, we'll.
I just want to be invited.
Yeah, we'll go.
Yeah. Have you volunteered? It was a 50-50 split. Was it awesome? Of course it was awesome. And some say not yet participated. Yeah, I think we make it easy, especially
Well,
Leslie,
We do hear though that parents think the school process of getting cleared is higher than most, other elementaries with the TV test and things like that. So I have heard that, and I don't think people have continued on their volunteering because there is some expense with that. But it's forever once you do the live scan, and then the TB is every 5 years.
But any volunteer has to do that anyway with all sports too.
Correct.
So
To
if you're
work
gonna
with the
volunteer
kids.
and be with
Yeah.
kids,
To
I
work
think
with
it's,
the kids.
I think it's great. It protects our.
Well, we like it that way, but I have heard that feedback.
And I've met parents that are like, I'm so glad that
Yes.
you have to go through all this stuff
Yeah.
in order to basically
Yes.
be around my child or
Yeah.
other
It's one of the
children.
reasons we're here, like, you know,
Yeah.
But
well,
anyway,
aside from,
I've heard that
be
too.
lucky.
But yes, there is more hoops to jump through for sure.
Yeah,
And-
and I clean record.
I appreciate it.
And look, I coach soccer and AYSO, and like, even as a principal, like, I have to get fingerprinted through all these other organizations to do background
they don't
checks, so.
talk to each other.
There's no, and I realize it's a pain, so in the fall, as you're doing your stuff for AYSO and getting your fingerprints, you also have to do it here. But like I said, once you do it once for any OPA, or it's in the OPA organization, so going from elementary to middle school, you won't have to do your fingerprints again. You just have to do the updates on the TB every
5 years.
4.
But we make it easy because we have the booths here at school at least twice a year
And we pay for
and
that.
we pay for that. So,
Oh.
we make it very easy. We don't
The
pay
live
for the,
We don't pay for the test, like the
Yeah.
stamp, but. We have.
Oh, that's right. She discounts it.
She
It's gone
discounts it.
up, but
Yeah.
I think it's $74.
but there's other places. So, if you want to volunteer, we can give you resources and you can get that.
And then, as I said before, like, if you're interested in volunteering with Honor Society, what are you interested in? Just another way for us to capture some emails and talk to people. And, that goes to the president-elect, and then, the president and president-elect talk about, reaching out to them. And sometimes, if they're just, interested in a chair position, they'll go over to volunteers, so. And then just some miscellaneous feedback. I didn't put a lot of the lengthy ones, but overall, I feel like people are happy with what we do. There's one, I feel like there should be more meetings for parents to get together to assist with Honor Society events. That means it feels so exclusive sometimes, but maybe that's just us not communicating specifically enough about how we, like, the general membership meeting, like, you guys are here because there's an
So
election.
this person's saying it sounds like they want to like be at an event.
Social.
Yeah, like social to
party.
meet other
I
parents.
see.
But we do great
Yeah,
little
like, let's
meetups
have a
and we
I'll be-
do
I'll be there. I'll-
lots
Let
of
a parent
things.
find out how to simple
We
fun.
tried and no one came.
Like where?
It was at the Pino's Palette, the paint sit place.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah,
Yeah, no one came. I had a hard, we barely like covered the cost of.
we did the
50.
math night.
We did the math night.
Well,
That
and then
was
we
fun.
earned the school-wide movie night, for
Yep.
jogathon,
Yep.
and like,
No one
it
came.
wasn't a
You're
huge
kidding.
turnout. I mean, there was people
It
that
was a
were
great
here, but
turnout.
it
It was like
wasn't
100.
like, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
between families, it's like probably 25 families,
Yeah.
right?
But it's also really hard, like the things that we'll plan, you can't, the dates, like everybody's so busy that sometimes you just can't come, so. And we can't plan those big events every month because there's just not enough help. So if you are someone who wants to host those events, contact us and we'll get more planned.
Yeah, if we don't, like Erin used to say, we don't have somebody.
Yeah,
Well, that's okay,
yeah,
right? The culture at our school, we have a lot of working parents, right? And sometimes they would just rather get the money than actually be there, so,
We appreciate that.
yeah.
we do our best.
Couldn't do them without that. Okay.
But good job, you guys. So that was the 2025 survey results. I was gonna go into the review of the Honor Society positions. This is just a slideshow that we've had, like what is Honor Society? And then it has a list of the elected officers, but I feel like everybody knows the positions that we have available, which are the president, president-elect, community programs, fundraising, student development, communications, spirit volunteers, takes a village, finance, operations, recording secretary, and parliamentarian. So it's a big board. If all positions are filled, it's, we always say many hands make light work. So, the election process, I was working with Dale, to go over the how the election procedure goes, and just so you guys know for future, this is all in our shared drive. But there's a nomination committee, and it usually consists of the parliamentarian, and the president-elect, and hopefully other people who would like to participate. But that hasn't always been the case in the past, so, it's really a board effort to be that nomination committee minus the president. So there's just a timeline here, and it'll be corrected next year, to reflect the 2026 calendar. But we start in February and, continue to, collect information, throughout March, and then we actually do all of the communication through the Honor Society newsletter and or Facebook, Instagram, and the Woof. And so you can see it's pretty detailed, so we can make sure we get that information out in a timely manner. And then we prepare the slate, which we did last week, and here we are today. And then it continues on with the transition in the end of school. So there is a process in place, and it works well. And that's it for the election review. So I don't know if we want to finish reports and then go back. If you'd like to
Well, I
see the
know
slide.
Andy has to go soon, and Emily, I think she's still on Zoom, but she might have popped off, I don't know. If she's not here, we can still vote her in, right? I know Emily.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and go on to the election process, just in case, and that way
Okay.
we get that done.
So here's the slate for the 2025-2026 executive board. And if there were anybody here and they wanted to actually add their name to a position, then we would take a vote on that specific position. Or if there's somebody that came in and said, I'd like to be slated for the community programs, we would have to do that at that time. But that isn't the case this year. This is the slate, where we have President Tammy, President-elect Dell, recording secretary, this is Jill over here, she's quietly working. The community programs is open, communications is going to Andrea next year, finance, operations, Jen is staying on. Spirit is Kara and Sarah. Like that, Kara and Sarah.
Sarah, perfect.
Unintentional. Perfect.
The fundraising is Emily, is she still online or did she?
She was on Zoom. I know she's at
Okay.
work this morning, so.
Okay.
She's busy being a nurse. Yeah, she's. saving
Oh,
lives.
well, there you go. Leslie is gonna continue on with volunteers, student development is Susan right here. And then parliamentarian is Andy, there she is right there, you'll be doing this next year. But this is our slate, so, Tammy, did you want the new people that are slated to say a few things about themselves, or how would you like to do it?
Sure, why not? You guys want to say a couple things about yourselves, introduce yourself a little bit?
Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm Andy Chambers. I have a daughter in kindergarten. She's in this class. I also have a 3.5-year-old son, so hopefully he will join for TK not this next fall, but the following fall, if we're lucky enough to win the lottery. And then
Siblings.
Siblings. So I feel like it's a higher,
Emily's there.
higher probability that
Emily's on.
Oh, Emily's back. Okay, good.
And I do have a full-time job. I work for PwC and an accounting firm. I'm an auditor, so it feels appropriate that I'm parliamentary. Like I policy finance.
I guess-
I think you got. You're great. Yeah.
That'll be perfect.
But if you want me to review anything.
I mean, like, you're gonna be here for the next decade with us anyway.
Yeah, sure, you got it.
I can only do this for one more year and then we have to find someone for the next year. so.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got.
Light in there, but. Keep
Well,
your ears.
Oh, that's
No,
right.
it's
You're
2
right.
years.
2 years.
You
And
could
then
only
take
be-
a break and then
yeah.
come back.
I was just listening to.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
there, I'm done. I'm done. That was it.
Sorry.
That was my little spiel.
Okay, hello, everyone. I'm Sarah and this year, wrapping up, I have a first grader and a TKer. So yes, next fall I will have my two children will be in school full time. So I can't wait for August. I can't wait to join that club. And so anyway, so doing the math, yes, I will be here for another 6 years. And looking forward to contributing and helping out in any way I can taking actually over for Mrs. Joe for book fair chair next year. And that's okay. And so I know, and Jill's been great. I know I've got some big shoes to fill on that end, but and also helping out with Spirit with Kara here. I can't believe that Erin has been doing it all, you know, this position. But anyway, looking forward to just volunteering, helping out with jogathon or the bubble run, as we say at our house. And in anything that I can to volunteer to help out, to contribute. I'm looking forward to next 6 years of a little bit more time, a little bit more.
Just for 1 year, we'll go for 1 year at a time.
Well, no, I know, but yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah. If you're in-
Second.
She said her next year, the freedom.
I know,
Yeah,
sorry.
I
Won't be free anymore. I know.
Not
So
trying
I'll
to repeat
extra time.
myself, but anyway, I just wanted to, now that I have a little bit extra time, a little bit more extra time, I just wanna help out and volunteer with whatever and.
We're
We're
just
glad
you.
to have you.
Very excited. We're excited.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Cara, sorry. Now I just shut it off, but I went on.
Hi, I'm Cara. My kids are in kindergarten, right now kindergarten and third grade. So I've been helping out Snack Shack with Dell and with Jen for this past couple months and I've been enjoying helping out. So I am just a stay-at-home mom, so I just kind of want to make my time useful, you know.
That's a big job too, but
Helping
it's
out.
the best to come into the board.
However, I'm leaving next week.
She travels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Travel.
every
She'll come back.
year,
Yeah,
yeah.
like me, but I'm just kidding.
Great, but the whole summer, I was wondering if that will be a issue.
no.
No.
No, you
I
can
was
join from
gone.
wherever you are.
Yeah.
We'll have the Zoom available.
No, because we're doing the elections now for next year, so.
Yes.
But what about
But
next
for
year?
Where you
I-
do
we
need
usually
to
leave
get
around-
organized over the summer.
When do you
Right.
leave? When do you leave?
Next Saturday.
This
You
coming up
said
Saturday?
it,
Have you-
So I won't be able to join the next meeting.
Okay, well, you have a you'll have a so you guys will work together and
That's okay. I have your number.
you guys can figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
we'll
gone
talk
for the
after
whole
about
summer?
dates and stuff, you'll be fine.
Yes. pretty much.
What classes is kindergarten?
Mrs. Herbal? Yeah.
I remember those ones too. Not me, but.
Technically. Technically.
You are Andrea?
Yes,
Right?
yeah, I'm
Okay.
Andrea. Okay, who's your child?
Erica.
Oh, okay, Erica. Yeah, I know her.
Boy, right?
Yeah, Weston.
Oh, okay.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Look, we're just connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Can we ask where you're going? 'Cause that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Where are you going for the summer?
Oh, I have my family lives in Japan.
Oh, that sounds
Every
exciting.
year I take the kids.
Now.
You think it's kids?
No, I take the kids.
Oh, I thought I got hurt.
No.
We'll have to-
I leave my husband, I leave my husband.
We'll have to connect on a personal level.
Oh, yeah,
My
we know we're
brother's
going on
going to
vacation next
Japan
time.
in June, so you'll
really?
be there, so I might have to connect you guys so you can show them something.
That's exciting.
I know, that's a fun. connection.
She's like, stop
Okay,
saying
so
about
those are our people.
Awesome.
I know, I need to get.
That's great.
And Emily is on, I don't know if you could talk, Emily, and say who you are or not.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Am I huge? Should I
Okay.
turn the camera off?
Hold on, Emily.
Yeah, you're on.
We're gonna make you louder.
Louder and bigger. Let's do it.
Let's see, louder, here we go. I think that's as high as I can get it to go.
Let me just mute my computer. I'm in another meeting right now. Sorry, I'm working. I'm trying to do it all.
She's in another meeting right now, so.
All right, you're good.
Hi, guys. Am I just introducing myself and
Jan?
hi? Okay. My name's Emily Cusick. I have a kinder and a first in Wiley or William and Thomas in Porter and Nakaoka's class. I work full time, but I mostly work from home except for Thursdays. And education is really important. The school is really important to us. I think one of the things that makes OPA special are the people who are engaged and go that extra mile for the kids. we've had so many stories where we've been like, do other schools do this? Like, you know, a teacher when it's raining, taking the kids out with the umbrella, like giving a kid an umbrella instead of themselves. Pulling one to watch another's like play or performance, even though it's not their class's day to do it. So that's teachers, but I know you guys do a lot. Like the bowling day, I was so amazed by that last week, how people just go the extra mile for the school and for the students, and that's really important to me. So I would like to be a part of it and like to support you all as much as I can. I think I'm a very organized person and I like to have things done. So I like to get things checked off the list. So hopefully I can help in that way. And yeah, don't want to step on any toes though. If anybody else wants to do, you can feel free.
We're excited to have you on the board, Emily, and I know your husband's gonna help with you a lot too. 'Cause
Yeah.
you come in.
Mhm.
Yes. Cool. So thank you so much. I know you and Andrea can get together and meet like later about fundraising and all that kind of fun stuff at the next meeting for our transition stuff.
Right, so now I just need a motion to approve the 2025-2026 executive board.
Motion to approve.
No, I need a
Oh, you
motion.
I'd like to make a motion.
Yeah.
There we go.
Second.
To what? I like to make a motion to what?
Make a motion to approve the board slate for next year.
Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
Seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
We're so sad to see that our
We should
ladies,
mention,
I know,
yeah.
we need to mention Erin and Teresa have
Who
been
are
on the
Yeah.
board
Not on that
literally
slate, 100%.
forever. So they're
Never
not on the
not
slate
seen those
because they
names
can't
on there.
be. They're going to
We're
the middle school.
graduating.
They're graduating to
Promoting,
middle school.
promoting.
They're promoting.
They'll be promoted to the new board, I'm sure, as president, I think, right, Erin? You're gonna be president for
Middle school.
middle school? Yeah. Wait a
And
minute,
then
and Teresa, what's your role?
Wherever she needs to be.
Okay,
That's what I told them, whatever is a good
So.
fit, because they have some people that are coming from
Okay.
the other school and things like that,
Oh.
so.
you guys will.
We're in
Just tethering to Aaron like we did way back. when.
Yeah. The OG.
We make it as a team.
We do.
I love
Well,
it.
This makes me so
The
sad.
dream.
Oh,
I know.
I
And-
can break
and I'll-
down last
and-
night.
And I know I wasn't here like pandemic times, but like you two were like led Honor Society through it, and we wouldn't be here with as strong as a group that we have without the work that you guys put in, so.
Yeah,
We thank
100%.
you guys for all that you are and
You got us.
uphold your legacy.
And I gotta say, this has been so much fun and made parenting a blast
Yeah.
with you guys, so.
Definitely
my
couldn't have had as
parent
much fun without all of you guys.
Yes.
We need to know and, you know, our gossip sessions.
And then I bring down the gauntlet. Focus. All right.
Get back to it.
I know, get back to it.
Okay, so back to it. Where are we at?
That's right. Fun.
Community
Fundraising, fundraising.
Anything for community programs or no?
No.
All right, fundraising. So our last spirit night of the year is coming up on June 4th, so the day before the last day of school, and it's gonna be at Handles. And it's all day, so from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. So take your kiddos, get some ice cream before scoops out for summer. June 4th,
Wednesday.
second to last day, the day before the last day.
I think that's a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, the Wednesday.
So Wednesday after school, go to Handles. Yeah.
12 to 10 p.m. Bring your friends, bring your family, as long as they say that they're with OPA-SV, we get 20% back.
Yeah, and if
Um,
you're there, encourage other people to say they're with OPA, because I did that,
I
and
do that all
and they
Yeah.
actually charged me $3. I was like, never mind, I'm not with you. It was Lake Forest Elementary School. I was like, so I don't think we charge. They just get a portion of it back, but they have that option, I guess.
Oh.
So they charged me $3.15. I was like,
No,
wow.
we didn't do that.
For the
We're
spirit
Nice, like an extra.
Well, it's a
donation.
good post-kinder
Yeah.
promotion, like treat for the kinder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
but
like,
for us, it's
that's-
just, it's a portion of your.
Just,
our
yeah,
sale.
portion of the
So
sales
No
come
extra.
back
money.
So bring home a pint too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
bring home a pint, I like that
I do that.
idea, or 4.
Yeah.
And then obviously we just had our readathon, and so I have it on my screen here just so I can read it easier. We brought in after fees just over 14,000. We are still, which we kind of put together at the last minute, so I think we did pretty good there. We're down a little bit from last year's donations, but I think the economy is kind of taking a hit on everybody, so that's.
Little last year was like 16.
Yeah,
But we
so,
were much more on jog. and
yes,
so it
so they kind of
is-
evened out. We're still getting all of the prizes together and ordering everything, so the expenses will probably go a little bit up from where they're at now, so we'll probably end up around that $12,000 mark, net, which is really great. And then just kind of the year, from what I have here, kind of all of the fundraising events, readathon, jogathon, all the kind of spirit nights that we do, fall family fun nights, spirit wear, income use, uniform book fairs, snack shack, grade level meetups in Pumpkin City. We're at just under 70,000 for the year. So
Awesome. That's great.
I think
That's really good. That's like our best
Pretty good.
year yet, I think. Yeah,
Sure.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of help. I work full time, just like many people in this room, and so I could not have done it. Without Tammy, without Trisha, some amazing people that have helped really spearhead everything to help us pull this all together, so.
yes. And if you have
Right
time
here.
to chair an event, like, you know, that
Yes.
always comes in.
In
handy.
Trinity, I can't forget
In Trinity,
Trinity doing
yeah.
Fall Family Fest,
Yeah.
so,
And you live with the spreadsheets.
yes.
The
You live in
labor
the
of love,
background.
so everybody.
I'm really
Everybody
surprised,
pitches
I
in.
mean, I'm impressed with the restaurant fundraiser income. That, I mean, at least we got the 1,000, I think that was even higher than last year, so, and we're not done yet. Because we know
Yeah.
sometimes a lot of people just don't do it, and I'm
Well, and the Chuck E. Cheese events, that's where we made the money, was the group.
Yeah.
meetup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, I
we
think
have,
it's at the bottom. I have.
Oh, it's separate?
You go down. Grade
Oh,
level
is that the
meetups.
grade level
It was
meetup? Yeah.
specifically Big Air and Sky Zone.
Oh, yeah.
So Big
So
Air,
that's separate from.
Big Air, we made like 250, 260,
I
something
think
like that.
so.
And Chuck E. Cheese one?
Oh, I don't have Chuck E. Cheese in there, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Chuck E. Cheese I had for, I think it might be included in restaurant.
Okay,
Okay.
so that was 5 something, and then the other one
Right.
was 200.
So we've talked about for next year, and obviously Emily and I will talk about it going for the future as I hand over the baton to her, but really thinking about consolidating the number of events and spirit nights that we have, just because there's a lot of restaurants that don't do it, so it takes a lot of effort. And for instance, our corner bakery, we didn't even make the minimum.
Yeah.
So it was like, you guys made $5 and that's not the minimum, so we're not cutting you a check. And so it's not worth the time. So we'd rather spend our time focused on Jogathon and try and get up to that $50,000 threshold where we don't have to pay fees for those donations, which would really help us, and that would balance out what we're losing from spirit nights, and then do kind of a more focused grade level meetups that double as fundraising opportunities for us, and just kind of keeping it simple, not asking parents for so much. I think that was part of the feedback on the surveys, of balancing how much we're asking for donations and things like that from parents. So I think there's some good things to look forward to next year.
Can I add 2 things really quick? Cause I made this for Andrea.
Yeah.
So for the readathon
By the-
donation.
Sorry, let me
income-
interrupt really quickly. I have to give you a major shout out because you worked on this like super late last night to get it all together, and the amount of work that you do behind the scenes for everybody is just incredible.
A little earlier than last night, but I was trying to create like a more easy snapshot, because the way that the financials are, all of the incomes at the top and all of the incomes at the expenses are at the bottom. So it's easy to look at the income, but then you have to go piecemeal. So I pulled them all together, but just to Andrea's credit, the donation income was 14,700 something. 14,041 is after the online processing fee
Yes.
of like almost $700 from 99 pledges.
Yes.
So we did raise 14,700. It's just that they kept like almost 700.
Yes, and
then
that,
you
so
have your
the
budget.
reason why looking forward, we really wanna, so we use a different fundraising platform for Jogathon. We use Fun Hub.
Yeah.
If we hit $50,000, our next fundraiser is fee free. So that's why we're gonna really focus next year, or Emily is gonna really focus next year on Jogathon and getting that 50K to help us with that, offsetting all of those costs that we have.
And the other thing is, I do apologize, there's a mistake. The restaurant fundraisers does have Chuck E. Cheese. I had to create a new line item for group level meetups, grade level meetups, because I realized after Sky Zone that we didn't have that line item. And I wanted that differentiated from restaurants, but before earlier I had lumped Chuck E. Cheese in. So actually restaurant fundraisers is only like 500.
Okay, yeah.
It should be
That
like
sounds right.
500 and
Yeah.
grade level meetups should
Which
be more like
furthers
1,000.
the point of
Yeah.
we shouldn't be doing those for
Right.
the amount that we're getting throughout the year and focus on
The
the
time,
events.
the advertising, the printing, the time that you have to call, follow up, I have to track down checks.
Yes,
So it's,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a lot of squeeze for a little juice, and I also think that it doesn't really bring people together quite as much. I mean,
yeah, people aren't
handles.
going and sitting in there
Yeah,
and eating.
but the grade level meetups, people come together, it's kind of like. it's
Pre-pandemic, they did.
fulfills more.
Teachers would be
Yeah.
designated to go
Oh,
as
right.
their adjunct duty.
Wow.
And so your kindergarten teacher is gonna be at Chick-fil-A and people would just like swarm to Chick-fil-A and they would like
Yeah.
party together and have a good
And then
time.
COVID
and-
kind of after post-COVID kind of changed.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally,
Yeah.
totally.
But I think I like that idea though, for even some of the grade level meetups,
Mhm.
like designating a couple of teachers to be there
Yeah,
or
like
like
Pumpkin
school-wide meetups and really putting a focus on that because I think that is a draw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. That's the only reason I don't like Chuck E. Cheese, to be honest. But that's the only reason I go, because it's fun to chat with the other moms and my daughter has fun and $25 worth in and out, you know, we can socialize. So I do feel like creating it more of like an instance where people can socialize.
Yes.
Okay.
I also
Okay.
want to make a comment about that too. Just make sure that next year, I don't know. It's my job or whose job it's gonna be next year. So that communicate to parents that we are kind of streamlining our fundraising, because I know
agree.
parents kind of like
Mhm.
save
back.
a little because.
I
because
think
they
we need,
next year we have a lot
I
throughout the
think we
year.
need to be really transparent
Yeah.
and that we're really trying to hit that 50,000 for Jogathon and the reason why.
Yes.
Because I think that will be more meaningful for families as well coming in.
It
It's
helps-
so close this
It
year.
helps too, because we get more money up front and then we
Yes.
know what we have to work with.
Yes, yeah.
So I think at the May 29th meeting, we'll talk more about streamlining and
Yeah.
how we can put that plan of action out so that
And
over the summer we
communicating
can
that.
come up with a plan. And of course, our budget in June will come up. So all these things will be very transparent. We'll make sure to buckle down a meeting with Mr. Wright and Mr. Bridges or whoever admin to, you know, get all of that word out, and then we'll do more of a planning process for like teacher communication and all that. Okay, yes, now for sake of time, Andrea, do you have anything else?
No.
That's it, okay.
So we just
Thank
have the names of our trimester volunteers on here, went out in the woof. So hopefully people will be contacting me. If anybody new to the board on here has something.
I said to Jennifer, who's in my class, I'm like, hold on, I saw your name on an email, and she's like, what are you talking
Oh,
about?
she probably doesn't know.
Did you, well, I'm like, did you get the email? And I got
She
it.
didn't read
They
it.
don't read
Maybe
the woof.
she missed
And
that
they don't read
email.
the woof. So just if you know these people, let them know to contact Leslie. so
Yes.
she can get-
She never does. I stalk her.
And because she doesn't want it, she's
She
like,
chooses,
yeah.
And it'll be.
She wasn't believing me. I'm like, I'm not making this
I
up.
believe this week.
yeah, so
And
read the
so-
book.
Maybe she just missed that
Yeah,
one
that's-
email.
It's just like, why did you put my name on it? Really?
I forced her to take me.
me off?
No, we can't. So Honor Society, if you look at the true volunteers, the top 10 will always be Honor Society members, but we are not eligible for this award, but we do raffles. We have started more raffles this year for Fall Family Fun Night, for book fair, for Blackwell to get other folks involved and hopefully motivate them. And Sarah, you won.
Yeah,
the
the book fair.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you want to
So
go
we
there?
try different things to get people to help us.
My girl,
Good
thank you
motivation.
for their books.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Job, Leslie, on your volunteer, you do amazing work.
Okay, Jill.
So really quick, I don't think we haven't had a meeting since book fair, because I didn't put book fair on there. It's
No.
technically not
No.
under my job, but I'm also the book fair chair, so I'll just say that really quickly. Spring book fair was awesome. It was kind of strange because we normally do it a Monday to a Friday, and this year we did it a Wednesday to a Wednesday, but we had a Saturday event, which was kind of fun and new.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can advertise better for that next year if we do it like that. And we made over $8,000, so thank you so much.
Which is so good for a spring book.
Yeah,
It was
really
the
good.
lady. that
It's
was
usually
like
not as
art
big as
surprise.
fall. Open house night,
That's
right?
the open house.
night is
Right.
so
Yeah.
fun. It was packed in there, so that was
Yeah.
really fun. So
Open house
thanks.
night is super important.
So
It's like half of the sales.
No announcement of who top, the 3 top classes were? I didn't see
Oh,
it.
for the book fair?
Right.
I mean, the
So,
readathon?
The readathon?
Oh, the
readathon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We were talking about.
Not in yet? I was talking about.
I-
We were talking about.
we were
that
talking
need to
about
Get that
getting-
out.
Because we still have to do all the prize work and all of that stuff, so
Yes.
it's coming.
It's coming.
Okay, I was just wondering.
I think,
Yeah,
if
we don't keep track of book fair.
Didn't you-
sales versus
didn't you notify the teachers? We notified the teachers, maybe, but not the
I,
classes.
yeah, let me, I'll. put that
We'll,
on my-
we'll,
Yeah.
we'll,
And then
we'll get information
the
on that.
next thing I have is we have one more Blackwell scheduled for next Tuesday.
We'll make an image, put it on the wall.
So if you would like to,
I know.
come volunteer at Blackwell's, it'll be great. And then there is a possibility the administration wants to have one more at the end of the year, but I'm not sure how much leftover product we'll have. So after this Tuesday, we'll decide on if we have one more blowout sale at the end of the year.
I think that I think that we should talk with Mr. Wright and Mr. Bridges about doing special stuff for fifth graders. Like instead of using their stuff to get a bunch of toys they probably don't want, let's talk about different experiences that we can do with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that
that,
idea. Cause they are at the end and they won't be able to use their PBS points anymore. And last year we were supposed to have an extra Blackwells at the end of the year and then that didn't happen. And so it would be nice to have something that they can use their points for.
Alright.
But it won't come out of my budget. 'cause
Yeah, that's
my
what I
budget's
think,
next.
think of the experience.
Spirit.
Okay. All right, we're gonna be selling spiritware at the Kinder Welcome next Friday from 2 to like 3. Is that what it is?
But be here at like 12 soon.
Yeah, we'll be here a little earlier to set up and everything. I didn't think I was gonna be able to stay, but my appointment got canceled, so
Okay.
I'm good with that. And so, can both of you?
I'll be there.
Okay, perfect.
I'll be there right.
And then we have some existing inventory. It's like even from last year. So I'll sell that at only what we have physical, no new orders, so 20% off at the bowling. Honestly, it's mostly like adult sizes. So we'll see.
Okay.
And then, so for the year, thank you, Jen, our spiritware net income was $2,139.10. Uniforms net income was $3,432. We need to keep in mind that that brings in a good amount of money, the used uniforms, because it's 100% profit. We're
Where's
so
everybody?
You just love that snafu at the beginning of the year, so thank you.
Yeah.
Remember that snafu? That's what helped us, so thank you.
The beginning of the year, we do sell quite a bit more. So anyway, and I think that's it for me.
Okay.
I'll be.
Do we
working-
request for donations over the summer, or when do we ask for donations
Anytime.
to do that?
We'll put.
Like, should we advertise something soon now that we're coming
Yeah.
up on the end of the year?
Yeah,
Get those
clean out
donations
your-
at the end of the year.
And then we
So
can have it available
the
for your
Yeah.
professor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Susan, can you put, like, I think we have a
No,
graphic.
you have to put it in a request. please.
Okay, I will put it in the request. I will.
Oh,
You know what,
Susan.
I will.
I love Susan.
So like, clean out your closet.
Let me text you right now, here's my formal request.
And then at the beginning of the year, that's something what we should, I recommend to you, like, have the bin out for parents to drop off.
Yeah, drop off and okay, so I think that our election committee already spoke, right? We kind of
Yeah.
moved that up. So basically, everything's done. I just want to really quickly show you guys these cute little blue token bags. So Mr. Wright, on Friday, by tomorrow, you'll have these in each teacher's mailboxes. And these are for your tokens for the vending machine, which they can use from Friday at their discretion until the end of the school year. I think each teacher, we're gonna give them like 6 tokens or something like that, so they can distribute that throughout their class. Just for the remainder of the year to get their kids excited about it. So that's giving away like 6 books per class from now until the end of the year from the vending machine at the teacher's discretion. So like there is rules. We've made these cute little rule flyers in here. So it is based on your PBIS standards and each teacher has this. So you know, have it be fair to the students. Everybody should deserve a shot. So it could be on, you know, hey, if it's table quiet points or if it's being respectful point, whatever it is, how the teacher wants to do it. Because every classroom operates a little differently. And then also maybe having like a monthly use your token event. So like if they get a token to go get it, maybe not just going alone, maybe coordinating that with like okay, we're gonna utilize tokens, you know, at recess or something, however.
Make
you
it
guys
like
do
a
it,
big
like
deal,
raffle.
like
Make
this,
it a
yeah.
big deal.
And like maybe announce it with PA system, like these are
Yeah.
our monthly winners. And
So maybe your teachers will
Yeah.
tell you who gets the tokens and then you guys call everybody at a certain time or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like an excitement thing and they all get to go piece their books, so. And then just to make sure that, and so next year we'll have less tokens for the teachers, but it will be more of like, we're getting the hype up right now, and then next year it's really special. Maybe you get 10 or so tokens. And again, this could change if we stock the book more, or if you guys are really loving it. As teachers in the classroom's really loving it, we can, you know, put that in our budget to buy more books and stock it more and have more of these as rewards for the students. So this is a really fun and flexible, you know, we're learning still on how to work this, so.
Did we already do a ribbon cutting?
No, the ribbon's on still, so maybe tomorrow, since we'll all be here, we can do that, like at pickups. I don't know, that works. We can side conversation, but
Doesn't, Bridges do on
Friday
Friday
deal.
raffle or
Raffle,
something?
yeah.
Maybe,
yeah, maybe he can incorporate,
or just do a big like ribbon cutting,
oh yeah, for the raffle.
yeah, just a big.
Here, I need five to.
I do. Yeah, I gotta get a,
On my way out.
yeah.
They're in this.
So anyway, that's exciting. So this will be out this week. And that's it, I think. Are we done?
10:06.
So, okay, let's adjourn the meeting at 10:06. So thank you, everybody, for coming.
Awesome.
Bye, thank
If
you.
anybody did, the white smoke went up at the, that.
No way. It did?